Hey guys, welcome to an interesting video on Wild Rift. So today we're back with a Sivir updated complete guide, one of the best ADCs to play in the current meta in my opinion. But before we get into it, don't forget to check out her basic guide that I'll put up in the cards above right now for her skills, level order, tips and tricks, as well as a couple of combos. But let's get straight into it. So Sivir, you will see the top players. They actually like to go for, it's changed since the last time I checked, but they mostly like to go for Shield Bow as a first item, but I was gonna say that I like Bloodthirst as a first item. Now, turns out number 1 and number 3 actually agree with me right now. So, let's go into explanation. So, of course, Gluttonous Greed first item, AD and Omnivamp, pretty stock standard. Then into Bloodthirster, huge amount of AD, as well as bonus stats when you're high on health and physical vamp. So the other popular item as a first item is actually Shield Bow. So Shield Bow of course gives you less stats than Bloodthirster, but it does give you that extra shield. So I would say that yes, Shield Bow is a good option when you're against a lot of assassins. Like think about, let's say you have a Talon in the jungle, like a Echo in the mid lane, a Zed, the things like that. Shield Bow is good, but if you don't have assassins, then Bloodthirster is just a superior item all the time. You don't want to go for Shield Bow as a default. You want to go for Bloodthirster as a default and Shield Bow as like something you can go for instead if the situation calls for it. Then, of course, Quick Blades as a second item. Of course, your cooldowns, your E, your W, your Q, all important cooldowns. You want to get them up as fast as you can, especially your W is where all your DPS comes from. So you want to get those cooldowns as quickly as you can. Then you have IE, of course, boosting your damage and giving you a lot of AD as well. And then Maul Reminder for Armor Pen and Grievous Boost. Now, you can go for Maul Reminder early if you need to, something like this. Sometimes, some games, a lot of tanks, you don't want to go for that. A Black Cleaver is generally the best last item option you have in the current meta. It makes you more tanky by giving you more health, gives you AD and ability haste as well. And of course the Sunder passive shreds down enemies. And with Sivir you can bounce your boomerang blades all over the place and you can prompt Black Cleaver really, really quickly in a team fight. So really a good item on Sivir right now. Otherwise, other defensive options like Maw, or GA, you can go for those as well. Now, for the runes, Lethal Tempo for the attack range and the attack speed, and then Brutal, of course, for the auto attack damage. Since you're an ADC that auto attacks a lot. Giant Slayer to deal with the tanks, Alacrity for more attack speed, and Bone Plating for the defensive capabilities in lane and in the late game as well. Now for the spells, I like to go for Flash and Ghost like pretty much all the time now. Why? I mean, yeah, you can go for like Barrier or Exhaust or Cleanse or whatnot, but with Sivir of a Spell Shield, you shouldn't need Cleanse. You shouldn't. I mean, Exhaust and Barrier is fine, but with Ghost, you can combo it with your ulti and you can get insane movement speeds for insane kiting and insane chase down potential. So I like to go for Ghost and Sivir. I think Sivir is one of those champions that benefit a lot, from Ghost. So anyways, with all that said, now let's move on to the gameplay. Okay, so let's zoom in onto our gameplay and see why is it that I think Sivir is one of the best. Of course, as usual, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Any questions, queries, or remarks, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Of course, I will be sure to address them or drop a like. So in this game, we're playing a pretty strong combo of Sivir, Yuumi. Of course, Yuumi and Yuumi is, I think, in my opinion, Sivir's best support. Because the thing with Sivir is that she has that insane movement speed and can run forward, right, with the Ghost and the ulti. So with Yuumi, she's always on you, so she can always follow you. Whereas if you have like something like a Lulu, a little bit more difficult, because Lulu has to kind of run after you as well. Or an engager, also a bit more difficult. And Sivir is a very strong hyper carry in this current meta. And of course, one of the main reasons why I think she's so insane is because she can bounce off her boomerangs off of tanks and then hit the backline. So in this case, let's say there's Mundo and Alistar in the front line, right? You can hit them and they're most likely going to bounce it to Lux and Kalista, for example. So that's kind of why she's very insane. Now, the main weakness of Sivir is her laning phase. Now, her laning phase is not absolutely horrible, but it's not very good either. So it's sort of like below average kind of laning phase. And in this game, we're playing against Kalista and Alistar, a very aggressive laning combo. Of course, Kalista has one of the strongest lanes in the game, and Alistar is a very aggressive engage support that can facilitate, Kalista getting a hit and things like that. So we definitely don't want to be messing with them too much in the laning phase, and we just want to basically stay safe and farm, right? This is very easy with Yuumi. Basically, even if you make like one mistake and they don't one-shot you, it's fine. Yuumi's gonna heal you back up to like full HP, right? So even if you get comboed and like engaged on by Alistar and then Kalista follows up, you honestly still should be fine, because most likely you're not gonna die from it, and you can just heal it all back from Yuumi. You can see that Kalista and Alistar are having like not the most fun of times, because they can't really do very much, and that's kind of the issue with playing that kind of lane. You kind of have to get something done in the early game. Like Kalista, if she doesn't get a hit in the early game, is kind of useless. And Alistar is now trying to roam, because he can see that he can't really do anything to me, so he's trying to go and impact another lane. Now Kayn is coming down as well. We can see that happening. Fizz is getting chased. We're coming back here to kind of help our Fizz out a little bit. And I assumed that they were doing the Krugs, which I think they were, because they dragged it somewhere else, because my boomerang did not hit the Krugs. Now Kayn is now still over the wall. I'm not quite sure where Alistar is. He might be in this bush. There he is actually. He combos me a little bit. I'm able to spell shield the second part, and now Yuumi has her heal on me. I'm just auto-attacking them for fun. I'm not really gonna kill them or anything like that, but yeah, I'm just whacking them a little bit. Now I'm whacking the wave now because I don't want to get dived by them, so I'm focusing the wave and not the champion. I actually needed that fruit just for the mana, but Fizz takes it, so I'm running out of mana here is kind of the issue. I'm just hitting Alistar and stacking up my lethal tempo for free pretty much. Now Malphite is here to help us as well with the name Malphite only. And yeah, here we are able to push out the wave, and now we can get a reset. The next wave is coming though. Kalista's pretty much going to be stuck in lane dealing with these waves, because the other wave is coming as well. And here we're able to we pick up our boots as well as another longsword, and head back out to the lane. You can see at this current moment, Kalista does have a gold lead against us because she's gotten that extra wave, but we're pretty much dead even at this point. Alistar obviously is behind Yuumi because he's been roaming and he's been missing out on some gold and XP from the minions as they die. So unfortunately for him, he's not exactly caught up, you know, compared to us. So here now it's my turn to of course farm the minions while Kalista is not around. And we're still just a little bit behind her because of course we didn't miss some minions as, you know, all the Kayn shenanigans was happening. So it's a pretty boring early game. There are some early games where Kalista can play a bit aggressive and actually get kills, but it requires enemy team to make some mistakes, as well as you know, certain lane opponents that are not too dominant in the early game, which these are. Like Kalista and Alistar are dominant in the early game, so we have to really be careful and not play too overly aggressive. So we're being very cautious here. You can see we just farm minions and we're not doing a lot else. And yeah, it's just a little bit boring so far, but don't worry, it gets a lot more exciting as the game goes on. And we actually go kind of ham at some point because we do have a Yuumi with us. Here Alistar engages on us. Again, we don't really take a lot of damage at all. Even with the anti-heal on Alistar, we still take not very much damage at all. Of course, they do end up getting prio because you know, we can't really do very much. But yeah, we're pretty much fine. Here you can see we're basically back to full health. Malphite is coming, as is Fizz. Fizz is here. And you know, we're pretty much all golden right now. Here we're even chunking the Alistar a little bit. Alistar's at half HP. Dragon has spawned, and it appears the enemy team is doing it because they are kind of walking to that dragon area. Fizz, our jungler, is over the wall. Gets comboed by Alistar. Not comboed, but gets shoved away by Alistar. Yuumi ult kind of doesn't really hit anything because we aren't exactly in the fight yet. Now we're popping down and going for the fight. Malphite ult hits absolutely nothing. We're focusing Alistar. Malphite gets the kill on him. And we're now stuck in a 1v1 against the Kalista. And unfortunately, she is still able to kill us, but does pay for it with her life. Malphite picks up a double kill. And of course, Malphite is like building AP, so he's like happily just taking the kills and trying to get to his AP items. But I, of course, will love some of those kills as well. I get 3 assists, same as Yuumi. And here I'm now back in action, headed back to the lane. And yeah, so Sivir, you know, is a kind of champion that if you do get like a death or two in the early game, it's still fine because you still scale very well into the late game. Of course, ideally you don't want to die, but if you do, it's not the end of the world. Whereas on some champions like Kalista and Draven, like when you die early game, and like you kind of don't get anything out of it, it's kind of it's I won't say it's kind of GG, but it's like kind of like the game gets so much harder. when that happens. Kalista now is like almost 1k gold up on us, so she's actually doing pretty alright despite my best efforts to kind of neutralize her by not engaging in fights. Speaking of fights, there is a fight happening at the top lane. The Alistar is rotating there. And so now we're taking this opportunity to shove in the lane. So we actually get the Herald, and here, now I'm trying to get the tower platings. Unfortunately, I popped the W, which causes me to bounce onto Kalista. Now, there's no way Kalista can actually do like 1v2 me and Yuumi, I believe, right? Because with me and Yuumi, Yuumi has the healing and gives me bonus stats as well, so we should be fine playing against like Kalista 2v1. But you know, we should be all right. I'm being a little bit conservative here because I'm not 100% sure that me and Yuumi wins against Kalista, so I'm actually just getting the wave and then resetting and getting Bloodthirster, not going for any kind of aggressive play. Although I probably should have tried, maybe, and then I would know if, like, Yuumi plus Sivir wins against a Kalista. Yeah, so I don't know. So here, Kalista is probably looking to reset. We're just gonna grab this wave. And here I'm actually checking this bush, because I'm thinking she's probably resetting in here, but turns out she's not. She probably walked in the bush and walked back to tower, or she already completed the back and I was just not able to get her in time. So here, either way, I'm just going to quickly shove in the next wave. And no more platings to be gone already, but we can still get the actual tower itself. Kalista is now back, and we're just getting the tower. She's attacking Yuumi, and Yuumi does a very good job here of detaching and just taking damage from Kalista, because obviously damage on Yuumi is not very relevant because she can just reattach and then not, her health bar is no longer relevant. So here a huge fight is breaking out. Huge Yuumi ulti comes in here, huge Malphite ulti as well. We get the kill and the reset on the ulti. We're dashing forward, going for Kalista. Kalista flashes but does end up dying to us anyway. We get a triple here, and then now we're dodging. We're going for the kill onto the Lux. Here Camille ult does go in. We get the kill onto Lux as well. We actually pick up a Quadra here. Of course, the Penta is up there in the top lane with Mundo, but yeah, it's not gonna happen, right? We're gonna have to run all the way to the top lane and kill Mundo somehow, which is unlikely. So here we're just getting some farm and going for a reset and pick up our next item. Of course, our next item is going to be the Navori Quick Blades. Just need to wait a couple of seconds to get enough gold for it. There we go. And unfortunately, Fizz takes the gate, so I have to walk there like a chump instead of taking the gate. Just helping him out with the red buff a little bit. He doesn't even have the red buff share yet, which is really weird. He hasn't been farming his red buff, I guess. Alistar combos me under the tower, and now Fizz is here. We're just going to run down the Kalista. Of course, it's the main important target. Now in comes the Kayn, and we're taking a bunch of damage, but they're standing in the minion wave, so they're taking even more damage. Now, unfortunately, Lux is able to hit me right as my spell shield goes down, so she does end up picking up the kill onto me there, which is pretty unfortunate. I thought I would be fine there with the Yuumi healing and such, but yeah, I don't know. Fizz runs straight into a Lux binding and gets one shot, and now it's a 3v4. Alistar is pretty low though, doesn't have ult. And here Camille stops the back, goes onto Alistar. Probably should be panning my camera there to see what's going on, but instead we're looking at me making my way to the dragon. Here we go, blast planting myself back into the action. And we are able to secure the dragon. Now Kalista is in trouble, getting run down by Camille. Yuumi ulti comes in, I'm popping my ult as well. And here I'm unfortunately only able to hit the Alistar, which is very unfortunate because he's not actually bouncing my boomerangs to anybody, so it's not really helping me very much. So I'm now just gonna ignore him. I see Kayn behind me, so I'm gonna run down Kayn instead, who's a much more valuable kill. We get the kill onto Kayn, and you can see that one of the weaknesses of Sivir is she cannot really deal with tanks very well until you get your tank busting items, of course. But she's really good because you can bounce off tanks onto squishies, but when you're actually not able to bounce, like you're only hitting the tank and not bouncing to anybody else, not very helpful, right? Not very helpful. So that's a prime example of that one. Alistar's just alone and he's not able to really bounce my boomerangs onto anybody, so that's just not really working out. We are, however, doing very well. We are at 9k gold. BF sort now completed as well. Of course, Camille and Lux are more fed than us, and they're doing really well. And here you can actually take the gate when it's getting disabled. So if you are able to channel the gate before it is disabled, you are able to take it, which is something that I did learn over the course of time as I try to take it when it's despawning. So it does work out, in case you guys were wondering. And here we're just farming. Blue buff is up. We can let Yumi take that one. First, Yumi can spam spells with the blue buff, so we're gonna give it to her. Although blue buff is nice to have on Sivir, not essential, of course. Now back to just farming, basically. And Malphite is getting caught out in the bot lane. So here, me and Camille are making our way there. I do have my ghost and my ult, so I'm kind of positioning to not run straight into them and kind of be in the back line. So here, Alistar and Mundo are getting caught out. Now, unfortunately, again, it's Alistar, and he is, of course, tanky. So, however, he's like now stuck in a 1v3. Here, I'm flashing forward because I'm like, we can't let them get away. I'm taking out the ADC. Unfortunately, I get one shot by Lux again, and what turned out to be start off as a very good fight that I thought I could kill them all, ends up being me getting one shot by Lux. And Lux is really just kind of the main issue for me at the moment. Like, there's nothing much that Mundo and Alistar can do to me. Kalista is behind enough that she's not a significant problem. And Kayn is building full assassin, but he hasn't really been targeting me at all. Whereas Lux has been solely aiming for me, and not solely, but she's been aiming for me as a priority and taking me out, which is like 2 of my deaths I think came from Lux already. And that's just not good for me, right? I'm not having a huge impact in fights because I'm getting taken out. I'm getting taken out prematurely by the Lux. And Lux, of course, credit where credit is due, is doing a good job by taking me out. And yeah, so here another kind of mini skirmish is kind of breaking out in the top side, and the bot side, sorry. And here my Fizz kind of loses his mind, right? He's starting off the Baron by himself and trying to ping for assistance. But my whole team is at the bot side or resetting. Like, Camille's resetting, I'm resetting, and Malphite is making his way from the bot side. And even after he sees no one is coming, he doesn't care. He's still doing the Baron by himself, right? It's getting to a point where he's getting close to getting executed, and I don't know if he's trying to force us to go there or what, but he basically wastes his entire health bar, wastes all of his time, and nothing gets achieved here. I'm not sure what's going on at all. Here, Camille gets engaged on, and a fight is, of course, breaking out. Here we're just focusing, again, it's gonna be the Alistar because he's in the front line now. Enemy is stepping near a wave, and that's a big mistake because when you step near a wave, you're gonna get one shot by Sivir. Not one shot, but you're gonna get shredded by Sivir. And here we're just chasing down Mundo. Now, Alistar doesn't have the tanky stats anymore, so we're gonna take him out. Unfortunately, once again, we get one shot by Lux. So Lux is just a major problem at this current point in time, and yeah, I mean, I don't know, I'm gonna have to spell shield Lux's spells, but even so, that's not like really even helping. Lux is just doing too much damage. She's just so fed, and Yumi can't save me from Lux as well, because I'm getting one shot, I'm not getting DPS down. So here Fizz just getting caught, Alistar hopping over, taking out the Fizz, shoving him away, while enemy team is taking Baron. Malphite does get the kill onto Alistar. I still believe enemy team is getting Baron. They do get the Baron, and Fizz is still 1 HP. He needs to get out of here, but I'm not sure if he's doing that. And now the dragon is up. This dragon is inconsequential in the grand scheme of things because both teams already have won. This is not sold for anybody. And Fizz still has not yet reset. He's still half HP. And at this point, I don't want to waste time. I'm just going to farm. I mean, I don't think starting off dragon is a very good idea. Fizz goes in by himself, gets killed, and as I suspected, no point doing dragon. Enemy team just gets dragon instantly, and yeah. So here, as a result of Fizz dying, I'm just going to farm his entire jungle and put his camps on cooldown so that they can respawn, more quickly and, just give us more farm. So here I was trying to look for Kalista because she was just here pushing in the wave, but I couldn't find her. Thought she might be recalling there, but she won. And here we can pick up items, so we're going to actually back. And here I picked up armor penetration because obviously Alistar and Mundo are kind of issues, and we're gonna have to deal with them with the armor penetration. So here, just killing the wave. And now making my way to join my team. Like, as Sivir, you generally always want to be with your team because you always want someone in front line for you so you can just whack people and just stay at a safe distance. You never want to be like at the front like dealing damage. I mean, most ADCs that's the case, right? But some ADCs like Samira or Kalista, sometimes you don't have a choice because of your short range. And Sivir has a really short range as well. But she does want to be between the front line and the enemy, so you don't want to have a front line in front of you, ideally. And that's the other anti-heal component, which of course is going to come in handy now as well. With Mundo, you know, with Kayn, with Red Kayn, with Kalista, a lot of healing on the enemy team. And enemy team doesn't actually make very good use of the Baron because they were not even able to touch any of our inhibitors. They're pretty much able to just clear all of the waves, and those waves has actually given me quite a bit of farm. Now, surprisingly, despite dying so many times, Kalista is actually very close to me in farm. But the problem with Kalista is that she's not a very good scaling champion, so it's kind of one of the reasons why Kalista is not the best in the current meta at the moment. She doesn't have the best carry potential unless you get insanely fed, like I did in the Kalista video you guys just saw right before this video. But yeah, you know, you really need that kind of ideal kind of match for Kalista. Now here, Fizz's camps have respawned again off of the last time I killed them. I take one, which gives me enough to complete my mole reminder. So this gives me 100% crit completed with the armor pen component as well. Very useful against the tanks on the enemy team. Now Elder Dragon spawning in 5 seconds, but my whole team is on the wrong side of the map. Like, Camille and Malphite are just not there. They're at the wrong side of the map, and we really need to get ourselves there to contest the dragon. Now Lux E is zoning me off. I can't really walk through. I'm just waiting for Lux E to go. Now here I'm hitting, it's the two front lines again, but thankfully this time I do have my armor penetration item, so I'm actually doing some meaningful damage to Mundo, as you guys can see here. He is popping his ult, he is running to his team, so now I can spread my boomerangs to everybody. I flash over the Lux out, kill 2 people already, but now I'm 1 HP, so here I have to run back. Unfortunately I died to ignite. And it's okay, I did my job well enough already at this point. Like, I've taken out like 2 to 3 people, I think like 3 people. And only Lux and Alistar are left. Now all we gotta do is secure the dragon. We of course do have our jungler up and available, so he just needs to smite properly. As I stated, he dies. And now it's getting really dangerous because now Lux could easily like steal the Elder Dragon, right? This is not a very good idea. So here Camille does the right decision, goes onto the Lux and tries to take her out. Does take her out, and now Elder Dragon partially resetting. She's going for Alistar. Now I actually think she could go for Elder instead of Alistar here, but I don't think Alistar is going to be the one to steal the Elder. But you know, she does get the Alistar. Now the issue is, Kayn is respawning and Fizz is not. So now she wants to do the Elder, but Kayn is now up and she can easily just steal the Elder. So I'm trying to ping her off the Elder. I'm trying to ping I'm pinging that Kayn is alive, and we don't want to do Elder because Kayn is just going to steal it. That's very not ideal. So here, once again, we're just going back to farming. We don't want to do Elder, but we still want to be in the Elder area because we don't want the enemy team to just take a free Elder. That's the last thing we want. Now, Kalista is doing the Elder. I'm walking the wrong way, so I'm going to have to come this way to join my team. I spot Kayn, and here is where we want to take out Kayn. I pop the ult. I pop the Ghost. We're running him down. He's getting, like, yeah, I don't know what he was doing there. He eventually does go down. Now we're just going to chase on to whoever's next. Where we see Mundo, we get the ult reset, we're slowly running him down. He's now spreading the boomerangs to all his teammates. There goes Lux, our biggest problem, taking out the equation. Not going to flash over for Alistar. We don't actually have flash, but yeah, Alistar has his ult, so not easy to take him out. Now we're going to return to the Elder Dragon. And we're going to take that for ourselves. And with the Elder Dragon, we should be able to end the game. Or, like, you know, get Baron and end the game, you know, things like that. Huge wave in the mid lane though, so I'm gonna quickly take out this wave while my team secures the Elder Dragon. And yeah, I just need a little bit more farm for Black Cleaver, which is why you can see I'm just like farming here. Of course, blue buff is now shared amongst everybody, so I'm just picking up the whole jungle farm. You can see I have 18k gold, which is the most gold in the game at the moment. So I'm pinging my team to wait for me to reset and get my Black Cleaver. There's the Black Cleaver completion. And now we're on Baron. So obviously the enemy team should know we're on Baron because, yeah, that's the most obvious play. And I'm almost there. Kayn is coming to try to steal. We get the Baron. And here it's time to go in. I popped the ulti. I was tempted to flash the wall there and chase, but I think that might have been a little bit int. Definitely not the most consistent play, so I decide to hold my horses and just, you know, push with the Elder and the Baron. Should be a free win as long as I don't make some throw play like what I was thinking of doing. So here, of course, with full build, I should be able to even melt tanks because I have double tank, you know, double anti-tank items here. Alistar goes in on me, doesn't really matter. I can see I'm just bouncing off of all the minions and it's just bouncing, bouncing, bouncing. And Kallista's really low, and Elder finishes off Kallista with that true damage burn. Elder, only 20 seconds left, so we really gotta make use of it and start shoving in right now before Elder runs out. And unfortunately, Lux root hits me. Here I'm just focusing the tower. It's bouncing off onto the enemies as well at the same time. And Elder kills Lux, and Elder kills Kayn. And yeah, Elder just OP. And yeah, there we go. Everyone dies on the enemy team. With the last minion, we're gonna end the game on a triple. And thank you guys so much for watching the video. I'm gonna leave you guys with the stats as usual. And goodbye.